You've made it to Chiro Hustle Live. Sit back and learn from the greatest influencers in the profession. This episode is brought to you by Clothes for Chiro, Chiro Sushi, Barbara Eaton's 56-day chiropractic bootcamp, Moveville University, Pure Chiro Notes, Dr. Alok Trivedi, the Black Diamond Club, Element Mattresses, Legacy Wealth Management, Posture Screen, Vita Chiropractic, the Universal Traction System, MedZone, Vantage Point Marketing, and Imaging Services. Let's hustle. Hey everyone, Jim Chester here. I have Bruce Brown over there. For once I pointed in the right direction. My left and right are mixed up on these things, but I have a really cool sponsorship logo above my shoulder, and it says Element Mattress. And we have Bruce Brown. He's going to tell us the Element story, and he's one of our sponsors. So I really want to support what he's doing, and you support those that support you. So Bruce, tell us the story. What is Element, and how did you guys start?
Element came out of a few incidences over the years before I was even in the mattress business, Jim. About 10 years ago, my wife was pregnant with our daughter. As any woman knows, it's kind of difficult to get a decent night's sleep when you're pregnant. But she and I both were waking up in the morning just feeling like somebody had beat us with a stick. And so we were going in and getting adjusted every week. And finally, I said, maybe it's this mattress. Maybe we should ask Todd. Todd Overdorf was our chiropractor at the time. I said, maybe we should ask him what he recommends and just buy it, because I don't want to go. I don't want to go to the furniture stores. I don't want to deal with the salespeople. Let's just buy what he recommends. So we showed up with a checkbook in hand, and when we got done with our appointments, we just asked him, Todd, what mattress do you recommend? He didn't have a specific recommendation, and he said, look, here's a list of pointers that I'll give you when you go out shopping. So we left, we went through the normal process that everybody goes through, and we found the mattress that we loved. It was, $7,000 at the time, and there was no way that was going to happen. So we settled on another mattress that seemed like a good compromise, but it didn't serve us. And fast forward a few years, when we started down this path of developing mattresses that were legitimately different, that had some practical benefits that people could realize from the usage, I decided at that point that we needed to involve a group of chiropractors. Now, to tie this back in that interim, I'd also had a couple conversations with a gentleman that sits on the board at Palmer, who is a family friend of ours. And he said, can you develop a mattress for Palmer? Ironically, Jim, I know your ties to the rugby program there. And he said, the group I'd like to test it with are some of the ruggers at Palmer. And that project hasn't fully developed. We developed the mattress, and then things just didn't progress. But those two events were when we started down this path, were what made me realize, I guess, myself, that I couldn't have been the only one that was asking my chiropractor for a mattress recommendation. I trusted him a lot. And what I realized was two things happened. One, I ended up having to go someplace I didn't want to go, which was the furniture store. And Todd didn't make a dime off of my purchase, even though I wanted to willingly give him money. So that was how it all started. And we, instead of engineering a mattress to a price point, which is how everybody out there does it, we started with a clear board and just said, okay, we want to find new materials that nobody else is using that have a real advancement. We want to assemble those materials. We want to make a mattress worth owning. And then if in the end it's, available to go into the market and it'll do something, great. If not, then I just have a great bed for myself. And so that's how we put it together. We started backwards because we wanted to see some real innovation.
So I know we talked quite a while off camera. Let's tell people the importance of a good night's sleep and how your mattresses can help them.
So we involved a group of chiropractors in the design of these, knowing that, I'm 44 years old. And when I was 21, I could sleep, on the floor of my garage and wake up in the morning and spring up and go do everything. But that's not the case anymore. And nor should we be doing that. When you look at all the emerging research that's out there, our body heals, our hormones balance, our brain is rejuvenated while we sleep. The importance of sleep just can't be overstated. So when we were designing this, one of the things that we knew is we can't make one mattress for everybody. That's the big, marketing thing that's out there now that drives me nuts. But we could make something that served many very well. And so we went back and said, okay, team, here's what we need. We're going to slap this thing together and we're going to give it to you. And you're going to sleep on it for a week, 2 weeks, a month. And then you're going to let us know how you feel. Ranging in body size and composition from real tiny all the way up to, 6'4" and 260 pounds. And so we just kept moving those components around until we found a combination that everybody came back and said, we love this. And that initial group of testers are the ones who first came back to us and said, my patients are asking me, can I recommend yours? And that was the genesis of the continuing development of the products, but also trying to develop a business model that really served chiropractors in their practice and added to the value that they were delivering to their patients.
So you said the word genesis. Let's talk about the genesis of your company. When did it start? And let's talk a little bit about that.
Element started as an idea back in 2015. That's when we started researching materials and kind of toying with the idea that we wanted to build something that was legitimately better and different than what was out in the marketplace.
Excellent. And now this gets us to the next question, which I think everybody's waiting to hear. What does make you better and different?
That is a good question. I think there are two sides to this. When you look at the companies that have existed, that have tried to work with chiropractors in the past, and there are some out there, there becomes this kind of hellish situation where companies are showing up and asking you to essentially pimp out your patient list in exchange for a small sum of money, because they're trying to leverage the audience that you've built and kind of steal that credibility from you. A lot of times that's resulted in tarnished relationships because the products didn't pan out, or the service from the company was bad. And that reflects negatively on the office. The other thing that we've seen is that every chiropractor out there has a business to build and a business to run. And so many of them are so busy working in their business, there's not a lot of time to work on their business. And bringing in this stranger now, we not only have the patient dynamics to balance, but we also have just the work dynamics, the things that now they're asking me to do as the chiropractor. We wanted to solve those issues. And so on the flip side of that, we really approach this from an attitude of service. We know that your reputation and your relationship that you have with your patients has come with a lot of work, a lot of time, a lot of trust. And we want to be an extension of that, not detracting from that. So I think also we are never going to ask you to sell out your patient list. We don't want you to. We want to be there alongside of you. And we don't require any exclusivity. So the other problem is that there are so many companies out there that will come into an office and say, look, we want you to, recommend our product, but we want to be the only product that you're going to recommend. And from our standpoint, you, in a new relationship, you haven't earned that right to say, I want to be the only person that you're going to recommend to your patients. We have a lot of offices that we work with where the docs themselves sleep on the mattress, and that was the very first step that they took. But we have some that do not. And so if you want to recommend somebody else, we get it, because what I know is that we're going to come in and try to over-deliver as much as we can to every patient that you have sleeping on a mattress of ours, and we'll earn that position eventually. So
Well, not to cut you off, but Tim Schaub just joined us, and he is one of the founders of Chiro Sushi. And Tim, I was just telling Bruce all about Chiro Sushi and about how innovative the group is and how they're helping actually save chiropractors and the future of chiropractic. So I think Bruce will be reaching out to Tristan here in the very near future. But going back to what you're doing, Tim, or Bruce, let's talk a little bit about your ideal client. Who is your ideal client?
Our ideal client is, I mean, look, anybody who sees patients has the potential to get the question, Doc, what mattress should I buy?
Mm-hmm.
But because we put a system in place that makes this somewhat remote control, someone who's been in the business for a few years and has some level of systems in their practice or processes in their practice is really the ideal, because we have a way that we can interface in with that, make it very, very simple. Somebody who has a new practice, if they're getting asked that question and they want to be able to offer that to their patients, we can work with that as well. But somebody who has an established practice, whether it's a single doc or whether they have multiples, is really probably the ideal practice for the system that we have.
You've made it to Chiro Hustle Live. Sit back and learn from the greatest influencers in the profession. This episode is brought to you by Clothes for Chiro, Chiro Sushi, Barbara Eaton's 56-day chiropractic bootcamp, Moveville University, Pure Chiro Notes, Dr. Alok Trivedi, the Black Diamond Club, Element Mattresses, Legacy Wealth Management, Posture Screen, Vita Chiropractic, the Universal Traction System, MedZone, Vantage Point Marketing, and Imaging Services. Let's hustle. Yeah, that answers my question, but what does it look like when somebody jumps on board with you? Like say, hey, I want Element Mattress at my practice. What does that look like? How do you onboard new potential clients?
Well, our onboarding process in the past, which is all changing, our onboarding process in the past was really making sure if they were not purchasing a mattress for themselves, the vast majority do, but if they weren't doing that, we have what we affectionately call a biscuit, which is an 18-inch by 18-inch slice of the mattress, if you will, so that they at least have a representation there that someone can touch and they can feel. We've learned now that what most people do is sit on it, which is really not a good way to judge a mattress. But we send them that. We send them brochures. We have various marketing materials that are available to them. Moving forward now, we actually have the ability to make this completely passive for the practice. And the benefit of the system that we've got is not only does it interface with the processes that you already have, so you're not requiring your CAs or whoever's running your office to go through a massive shift, but we're reaching out and delivering value to existing patients, past patients, and potential patients. So it also drives new business directly into the office, which, I know that new patient generation becomes somewhat of a challenge. So we wanted to make sure that that was part of a system that we had in place for educating and marketing different patients. Everyone is at a different point in their process. Somebody may say, I need something today, and somebody may not need something for 2 years. But they do need education, and drawing the differences and cutting the fog through all the marketing that they see from every furniture store every weekend is a job. And we want to make sure that we're able to deliver that, whether someone ever buys a mattress or not.
Well, I'm going to poke all my chiropractic colleagues in the ribs a little bit, and I'm going to ask them directly, how many times does a patient come to you and say, hey, I'm not sleeping well. What should I sleep on? Or they ask you where they should go to get a pair of shoes, or they ask you what type of shampoo they should use, or they ask you any type of consumer-based knowledge. Well, I would just implore you to look into Element Mattresses, because they've taken the chance to advertise with us and to sponsor our message in chiropractic, which is the Chiro Hustle podcast. So what I would like you to do is at least go to the website in the comments up in the description of this interview, and click on the website and at least take a test drive through the website and see what you think about the product for yourself. And at that point, if you do think that it's a good thing to partner up with Element, I think they'd be a great sleep solution for you and your practice members. And just to let you know, Bruce, we have an international audience. We have Lisa Tacky, who is Dutch, and she is over in Manchester, England, getting her degree from McTimoney College of Chiropractic. Oh, wow. We have Darren Weiss, who is a Palmer Rugby graduate. He's over in Barcelona, runs 2 practices over there. Tim Schaub, one of the founders of Chiro Sushi, has been on today. And we have Amanda Affelblatt, who is the president of the Michigan Chiropractic, the MAC. So she is the president up there in Michigan, and I know you're in Holland, Michigan. So
Yeah.
maybe we can tie some strings together for you with some of the people that are viewing us today. But it's great because what we're doing with Chiro Hustle is we're an international brand now, and we're a chiropractic brand, and that's the thing that most people forget about where their small scope of influence is. Most people think that chiropractic is consumer based only in their practice. Well, just to what you say, cut through the fog. Well, cutting through the fog, chiropractic is a world global marketplace. And the more that we think about it and we move into the world global marketplace as the healthcare solution for the people that are out there, I tell people this all the time, Bruce. Everybody knows somebody that's sick and everybody knows someone that's suffering. And most people just don't know where to go or they don't know who to trust. So once they have the know, like, trust factor for somebody to help them with sick and suffering, and we know that many times manifests into pain. So when we find the solution based, I think that most people will check on their intake form, I sleep like crap. And there you go. There's your solution based industry for the chiropractic marketplace.
Yeah. I can only look on my own experiences, when we started this, and there were a myriad of reasons that we went to Todd and asked him for the recommendation, but we trusted him. Everybody that watches this, that serves patients, they trust you. And if they ask you these are, the people that ask are just the people that have kind of reached the end of their rope or actually thought about it. How many of the people that come through on an average week, of 100 or 400 patients, if you have a larger practice, how many of those people were too shy or, to ask, or didn't think that maybe that was something you wanted to talk about, where an intake form or the process I was showing with you in the beginning with the entire sleep questionnaire, how many of these things would facilitate conversations that contribute really to the overall wellness goal that you're striving to accomplish with them?
Well, I think honestly, Bruce, that chiropractic is in the outcome industry. We want the best outcome for a human.
Yeah.
And if the outcome is eating right, sleeping right, moving right, taking care of their nervous system through specific chiropractic adjustments, we're in the optimal performance industry. Yeah. And human evolution is dependent upon the chiropractic profession. So if we can make people more healthy through the transition of healthy nervous systems, through the transition of healthy humans, then we're going to make a global impact. Like I was mentioning a couple minutes ago, chiropractic is a global movement. And the chiropractic industry is in the profession of optimizing the human. And if we can optimize the human, then we can then support them to have, what do we all want? Better quality of life. Yeah. I've never met one person, Bruce, that had poor quality health, that had a better vibration of existence than somebody that was experienced a greater vibration of health and frequency.
Yeah, absolutely. And Jim, you mentioned people going to the website. They're certainly welcome to reach out to me individually, either by email or otherwise, because I'm happy to answer questions and kind of elaborate on what they'll see on the site. I'd love to talk to them and answer questions.
So better question then is, how do they reach you?
Well, they can find me on Facebook. I don't know if my Facebook profile is attached to the video here or not. It asked me that when we were logging in, but they can look up Element Mattress at Element Mattress on Facebook, Instagram, or Twitter. They can go to our website, or they can email me, support@elementmattress.com. And that actually comes to me. So please, or give us a call. I mean, I'm happy to shoot us an email, and I'll give you my personal cell phone number, and you can call me directly all weekend, or whenever you need to.
So on top of that, I know that was kind of a close, but I want just to drive home what makes your product more unique than what else is out there in the marketplace, and why it's a good solution for them.
Sure. One, it's clean. Two, our flagship product, the Element Copper, is the only copper mattress that we know of. Now, most people, when they think of copper, they think of, the Brett Favre and his elbow sleeves. That certainly is one copper product that's out there. But the yarns that we use in our cover, everything in the mattress, by the way, is manufactured and sourced here in the United States of America. There's nothing imported in it. But the yarns are a yarn called Q-Tech 29. They are a patented copper ion yarn that is manufactured in North Carolina, and our cover is made out of that. When you pair that with copper infused foam in the top layer, the benefit that you get is that copper naturally, without chemicals and all the nasties that end up in mattresses many times, copper kills bacteria, it kills fungus, it kills dust mites within 2 hours. And so what we realized is that we have a sleep surface that stays clean. It doesn't build up allergens like a typical mattress over the course of 5 or 10 years. And so you actually have a product that isn't adding to your demise like most mattresses would. I think those are probably the big highlights in the differences of the product. And there is a lot more to talk about if you start to get granular about it. But as it ties in with the wellness concept that I know many of the offices we work with really adhere to, this is a bed that doesn't contain anything that harms you. No chemical fire retardants, no nasty foams. Everything is certified clean, low VOC, no VOC. We don't even use a bad adhesive inside of the mattress when we layer them together. We stand behind the product with a 10-year full replacement warranty, a 100-night sleep trial. I mean, if you've seen it out there, you're going to find it with us. And we mean it. If it's not serving you or your patient, we want to take it back, and we'll give them all their money back, because that's why we're in this business. We're in this business to change people's lives through really rejuvenating deep sleep. Touch base with me, and I can share with you some of the reviews from many of the chiropractors that sleep on it that we work with around the country. Be happy to.
Thank you, Bruce, for sharing about Element Mattress. And you, as you guys know, I work with the brightest and best companies out there in the chiropractic space. So please support Bruce and his endeavors with his company, Element Mattress. And reach out to him personally. I'm sure he'll help you with any questions or information that you might need to get your next best night's sleep.
Thanks, Jim. I really appreciate the opportunity to be on here. It's been fun watching you grow, and looking forward to supporting you for a long time to come.
Oh, man, I appreciate that. And just keep on Chiro hustling out there.
Thanks, Jim.
We'll see you, Bruce.
See you later.
Thank you for listening to Chiro Hustle Live. Don't forget to subscribe and check back next week to continue hustling.